You're listening to Battle Taylor, and you're online with us, and we have a special guest, Rhydian. And Rhydian's been nominated for the Best Album for the Classical Brits this year, which takes place, I think, on May 13th, if I'm right, at Royal Albert Hall. So I'd encourage you all to vote for Rhydian's album, O Fortuna. Get online and vote for it by going to the Classical Brits website, or dial up the number, and make sure the guy wins. It's a fantastic record.
You can go to Rhydian's own website. Rhydian, what is your website?
Well, I have a few websites, but the website where the link is on www.rhydian-roberts.co.uk, and it's there on the home page. You just click on the link. It takes a bit of time to register. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it's the album of the year is all about the public vote. It's the public's decision. So the more the merrier, and I really am grateful.
I really think that is important, because to get a Christian to the top in something like that by other Christians voting for them. And I know that you all appreciate what Rhydian has done for us and the entertainment we've had and the wonder of his voice. It's now time for us to do something for Rhydian and get voting.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Absolutely. I'm reminded of the Island Records motto, which used to say, a terrible thing happens if you don't promote nothing. So get online and vote for Ryd now.
Absolutely. So Rhydian, we're going to be doing this, trying to get our listeners voting for you. Is there anything you would change about your life up to now?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say no, but I think sometimes I've acted in a way that I shouldn't have, and perhaps more recently the X Factor experience. You know, reality is I didn't make great ties with the TV crew. That's affected the future with TV, and I was supposed to be on quite a few shows on ITV this year, but they didn't. ITV bosses didn't allow me on. I used to be quite good friends with the head of ITV, Michael Grade, but he's since left ITV, and it's almost like the new boss is one of those people I annoyed going through that experience. So had I been a bit more humble, perhaps, and less aggressive, then that would have been to my advantage. So I've learned from that. So I would have changed that, yeah. But it was very difficult at the time to kind of keep my integrity.
It's a hothouse environment, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been completely blessed. I really have with my life so far. But there are times when I've acted and I've been extremely sinful, like we all are. But, you know, I've neglected some of my sin, and perhaps that should be addressed going forward.
Why is it that the press are obsessed by you having sex?
Because sex sells, doesn't it? They keep telling us. And yeah, I was put under a lot of pressure to say, oh, you're still a virgin then, mate, you're still a virgin. And I'm so delighted to be here today to speak to two guys who are in the media, who are like sensible, articulate, intelligent, who are asking me sensible questions, because I'm so used to going to interview situations where they just ask me banal questions, usually about my sex life, and they want to have the exclusive, you know, ooh, so-and-so popped his cherry or whatever. And that's the world we're in. I can't avoid it.
Well, the only other Christian who went through the X Factor mill was Gareth Gates. And, you know, Gareth, they were desperate for him to have sex with somebody, weren't they?
Well, he did it with knobs on, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he certainly did.
No.
We've got our exclusive. Rhydian Roberts said that Gareth Gates did it with knobs on. He absolutely
However,
did.
no names, no pact
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
we'll draw a veil over that discreetly. But it is what happens to young people when they're put into the spotlight and they're given a lot of attention, and their career is accelerated beyond what is normal. Okay, normally there's a gestation period for people to develop and grow, and in the old days, A&R guys used to develop artists. It was part of the development, the creative process, and you'd work in tandem to enhance what the artist had and try and enable them to get to the next stage. Now it's like, you will do it this way, or that's it. And that's not artist development, that's frankly just manufacturing baked beans.
But we're in a quick burn situation. I see it with book writers, that you'll get somebody coming through, they'll do 3 books, and then they'll finish them off. That's it, we've done that now, and the writer's left high and dry. And if you look, the X Factor syndrome is that the person comes through, they have 3 hits, 3 singles, 2 albums, and then it's, who's next? And it's as if they don't want this sort of longevity.
There was an artist who won X Factor and did very well. His name shall remain nameless. And he came to his second record and was advised to do a certain bunch of songs and decided he wanted to write his own. And in effect, wrote his epitaph creatively in terms of the business. And there comes a time when you've got to be smart about it. I mean, Paul Young was smart about it in his career as a singer back in the 80s, because he would do covers, but then he'd do a couple of his own songs on the record. That way he got what he wanted, the record company what they wanted, and that way he got a longer career than he would have had otherwise.
But look at do you know Will Young? Have you come across Will Young, the singer?
I know of him.
Yeah.
I've never met him.
Well, he was very wise. You know, he came on, he did it, he did some of his own stuff. Now he's gone into acting and theatre, and he's done all the things which will give him a long-term career.
Yeah,
so
he has, but you know, he wasn't signed by Simon Cowell immediately. You see, he went to a different record label.
Did he?
Yeah,
and he was managed by Simon Fuller.
Yeah. Right,
very
so
shrewd.
There's a big difference. So, Rhydian, tell me, you bat off all these people asking about sex. You've done it very well. You did admit to having sex with one person, I do believe. So they got that out of you.
Right. Well, no, I'm not going to lie. I am no longer a virgin. I wasn't in the first instance either.
But why are they obsessed? Second half of the question.
Well,
Why
exactly,
so
because
obsessed?
they knew I was a Christian, and they just assumed that like I'm some sort of celestial kind of perfect being who repulses at the thought of sex. I don't. I think sex is an amazing creation by our God.
Yeah.
But it should be respected. And when I'm asked, sort of condone sex before marriage openly, there's nothing wrong with it, then that's not really in keeping with what I should be saying or should be doing. And so what's the point in being a witness of Christ if you compromise?
Absolutely. And we're all tempted, every single man in this room, and there's four men in this room, I bet every one of us have been tempted at some point of our life to do something which, you know, we've later regretted.
The Batman outfit really didn't work for me.
No, the Batman outfit didn't work for me either. I don't know. Do you know, Rhydian, this is the trouble about working with this guy. You come into a radio studio to do sensible broadcasting, and I get...
You like to make me out as this kind of this pariah of mirth and merriment and stuff, but
it's usually the other way around.
I'm a sensitive flower.
Absolutely.
You two are great. You two are the most sensible people I've had interviews with in about 3 years.
Oh, don't worry about that. We will change that. Well, you have been listening to Premier Radio on DAB and across the capital on medium wave.
And also on Sky 0123.
Yeah, and on Sky as well.
Not off, mate.
And we've been talking to Rhydian, and I've got to say, this has been one of the most fulfilling evenings I've had for a very, very long time. So, Rhydian, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
2 Old Poshers on your radio.